Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week on the Hooters Tour. This week, it's the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic. We're at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the 5th year in a row. We're at the great facility here, Wild Wing. It's 72 holes of tremendous golf. Our players are taking on the Woodstork course. Weather's going to play a big part in the event this week. Stick around. Some great golf coming your way on the NGA Hooters Tour. The NGA Hooters Tour is coming your way. This week, at truly one of the world's great destinations, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. World-class entertainment at Myrtle Beach. And, of course, the beach and the ocean, the number one attractions. Shopping, there's plenty of it at Myrtle Beach. And nightlife, truly one of the great places in the world for all-around family entertainment. But it's golf we're talking about this week, and we're at the Wild Wing Plantation, a great facility.
This broadcast is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants, home of world-famous chicken wings, and the nearly world-famous Hooters Girls. And by naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water. All water is not pure. Taste the quality of naturally fresh, pure spring water. By Jackaroo Sauce. If you just got sauce, you ain't got Jack. And by smooth, rich-tasting Michelob. Beer or Michelob.
Our leader after the rain-interrupted first round, a name we haven't heard much this year, but certainly in the past on this tour, at 7 under par, 65, Andrew Morse is your leader.
Had a new putter to start out the week with. The other one was getting stale, I guess. I was hitting the ball good, but nothing was happening scoring-wise. And just got off to a good start, hit a couple close, made a couple 20-footers, and turned and birdied the second hole, which was my 11th hole, and again had 3 in a row. So I had 2 spurts of 3 in a row with 1 bogey in there, and wound up to be 7 under par.
Hi, my name is Bonnie from Hooters of South Myrtle Beach. Don't go away. We're going to see what happened earlier in this week.
You know what they say, sauce sells.
Get him out of here. Post it up, boys. Let's go.
There's ordinary beer, and then there's Michelob. Beer or Michelob?
People think that the Australian outback is full of young, wild ranch hens called jackaroos. Fact is, jackaroos are quite civilised. Until they grab hold of the big, bold taste of their favourite jackaroo barbie sauce. Then things can get a bit out of hand. Every jackaroo knows, if you don't have jackaroo barbie sauce, you ain't got jack.
This broadcast is brought to you by Hewlett-Packard.
After 36 holes of play of the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic, our leader, a familiar name, the winner earlier this year at Monroe, Louisiana, we're talking about Lakeland's Darren Stiles.
I've only made 2 birdies on the par 5s. One yesterday on 9, I hit it in 2, or in the first round. And then this morning on 12, I hit it in 2 and 2-putted also. Had chances on the other ones, just haven't made anything.
Just a week ago, the tour played in Wilmington, North Carolina at the wonderful Echo Farms layout. The winner, like 16 previous times on this tour, a new name. Philip Schmidt collected the $15,000 first place check.
Yeah, it was tough because I knew there were so many good players at the top of the leaderboard that, I was going to have to throw in a really good round. I was thinking 65 at the beginning of the day, and it turns out 66 was enough.
A lot of moving occurred on Saturday's long day of play. The cut wasn't made until late that morning due to weather delays in rounds 1 and 2. Darren Stiles had a 1-stroke lead going into Saturday. A bunch of routine pars, however, had him going nowhere as he posts a 72. Chad Campbell came from 5 strokes back to find the leaderboard. Chad, out of Andrews, Texas, fired a 5-under par 67 to take a share of the lead for Sunday's final round. Scott Kamen birdied the par 3 7th hole on his way to a third-round 70, getting him into position for the final round. Dean Larson from Plano, Texas, also fired a 70. Here's a birdie on the par 4 15th. Dean also birdies the par 5 18th. He'll make waves on Sunday. Now let's take a look at your leaderboard after 54 holes of play. Chad Campbell and Darren Stiles on top of the leaderboard at 13 under par, followed by a trio at 10 under par, Steve Ford, Peter Dyson, and Dean Larson. Scott Kamen leads a group at 9 under par, with Owen and Winston following, Adam Thomas, Weingardner, Pope, and Wellhausen all at 8 under par.
Hi, this is Bambi from Hooters of Myrtle Beach. We'll show you the final 3 holes when we return.
Finding the best bottled water can be very confusing. At first glance, all water looks the same. But if you scientifically precipitate out the solids, you discover all water is not equal. Introducing naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water, refreshingly pure. This naturally fresh spring water adds extra quality to the all-natural goodness of every naturally fresh product. Make the clear choice. Naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water.
This broadcast is brought to you by Rapport Composites, premium quality graphite shafts, and by Top Flight, the longest ball. Only 4 of the top 21 players will shoot higher than par on the front side of Sunday's final round. Earlier today, this was Chad Wellhausen's approach into the par 4 5th hole. Chad birdied the first 3 holes, and now he'll post yet another here at the 5th. That's 4 under in 5 holes. He fires a 32 on the front, sitting at 12 under par. Steve Pope is the other hot player. He also birdies the first 3 holes. Here's his shot at the par 5 9th. This sets up his 4th birdie on the morning for a 4 under 32. He's also at 12 under par. Campbell still your leader. Here's Chad at the par 4 6th hole. Chad shoots a 1 under par 35 to get to 14 under par. Then he comes out hot again. Here's his shot at the 10th. Chad moves to 15 under par. Here's a look at the current leaderboard in the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic. Chad Campbell, 1 stroke over Darren Stiles at 15 and 14 respectively. Pope at 13 under par, followed by Heinz, Wellhausen, and Ford at 11. There you see the host at 10 under par, Plum, Winston, Larson, and Kamen. And not far behind, Kimball and Owen at 9 under par. Now let's take a look at your pairings for Sunday's final round. Bob Heinz from Clearwater, Florida plays with John Kimball from Somerville, Georgia, and Jim Johnson from Boone, North Carolina. Tom Weingardner from Lothian, Maryland, with Steve Pope from Clinton, Mississippi, and Chad Wellhausen from Starkville, Mississippi. Kyle Owen out of Lebanon, Georgia, pairs with Brent Winston from Sheridan, Arkansas, and Adam Thomas from Baxley, Georgia. Peter Dyson from Pensacola, Florida, with Dean Larson and Scott Kamen. And your final group has Chad Campbell from Andrews, Texas, with Darren Stiles of Lakeland, Florida, and Steve Ford from Melbourne, Florida.
Here at the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic, my colleague Gary Lee joins us for the call on the final 3 holes.
Thank you, Lee. Before we get out to the action on the golf course, we take a look at your current leaderboard. There you see the man of the hour, Chad Campbell, having a fine tournament at 15 under par, followed closely, though, at 14 under by Darren Stiles. Steve Pope in 3rd at 13 under par. There you see a trio at 11 under par, Heinz, Wellhausen, and Steve Ford. We'll pick up the action now out at the 18th tee. Bo Stewart, 9 under for the tournament, 2 under for the day, out of Lake Charles, Louisiana.
David Plum, you mentioned earlier, having a great tournament. David told me he loves to play this game.
Because of all the things I've done, work-wise as an assistant professional, plastics industry, construction, all those things, the challenge in those cannot match what you have out here. It's unbelievable. You know, you can have a great day and there's always one shot that you can think back on, or just a better way to play a golf hole. It's really the ultimate challenge. It's you against the golf course.
Andrew Morse at the 18th green. Lee, he'd love a birdie here.
Yeah, he's 9 under, and right now that just put him to 10 under for the tournament. And he's the only 4-time winner 4 consecutive times 2 years ago, so he's certainly got a great history on this tour.
And a 5-way tie for 7th. Back to 17. There's the second shot of Heinz into the par 4.
Well, Bob's had just a really great year. He's made 14 of 17 cuts. He's ranked 5th in stroke average with 70, just a little over 70.
In the trees there on 17, Jim Johnson, 1 over for his play today, 6 under on the event, and he'll probably like that shot from there, Lee.
Yeah, he's left himself in a perfect uphill position. That's ideal.
Now Weingardner on the tee at 17.
Sort of a new name, really, to our leaderboard, and really a good player, and he'll be satisfied there.
Back at 16, Kyle Owen putting for birdie.
Again, like David Plum, he's really having a good tournament.
Now back at 13, Chad Campbell. He's our leader coming into this par 4.
This guy just never ceases to amaze me. The quiet Texan gets his work done.
At 16, Winston for birdie.
Out of the University of Arkansas, a Razorback. Just off.
Darren Stiles back at 13, his second shot. 2 strokes back of the leader now. We move ahead to 16. You're looking at Adam Thomas.
Earlier we talked to Scott Kamen about anything he might change if he could change anything about his game.
It's a very fine line between us being out there and us being out here. And, you know, I mean, I obviously, you know, we would like to be able to hit the ball better or longer or straighter or putt better, but I don't really know. I mean, I think it's just a matter of just getting the experience and getting the confidence of playing good and well every week and week in and week out.
The tee shot of Dean Larson at 16. He's only missed 4 cuts this year, Lee.
having a super year, and he's a great youngster out of Australia, makes his home in the Dallas, Texas area.
Just a bit left. Now Dyson, he started the day at 10 under par. He's 1 over on his round today.
Well, he's had 9 top 10 finishes since just a year or so ago, and he won at Houston just a few weeks ago. Taking a look now at our leaderboard, Chad Campbell through 12 holes is at 16 under par, 2-stroke advantage over Stiles. And you got Pope, Heinz, Wellhausen, and Steve Ford, our player of the year of just a year ago.
Speaking of Steve, at 13, this to go to minus 12. And he'll tap that one in.
He's got his family. Carly and Sharon are with him this week.
Next up, our leader, Chad Campbell. He leads by 2, 21 top 10 finishes since 1994. Rolls that one in nicely.
Chad has a win again earlier this year.
11 top 10 finishes this year. He's been pretty consistent. Now Darren Stiles, 14 under for the tournament, a winner at Monroe earlier this year.
Look at those cuts. He's made all 7 of the events. He's playing in his 8th tournament of the year. Has spent some time playing on a couple of the other tours, but certainly a good package of talent there.
Bo Stewart's 3rd shot into 18, the par 5. He's even today, minus 7 for the event.
Truly a 3-shot hole at 18. No one going for it in 2.
David Plum now, his best showing for the year. 2 under today, 9 under for the tournament.
I think David, after getting into the event at Memphis on the PGA Tour earlier, I think that really was a great confidence builder for him, and it's showing in this event.
Next at 18, Jason Larson, who is top 20 in the money this year. You got to love that figure.
Yeah, he's got a brother, Garrett, that plays on this tour, and they have a bit of a rivalry that Jason likes to talk about.
Well, we're definitely best friends, I think. But once we step foot on the golf course, there's no question we want to beat each other pretty badly. It's just something we've always done since we've been growing up. Every sport we play, we're trying to beat each other at. But after the day's over, after we finish our rounds, pretty much we're best friends and everything's pretty much forgotten.
John Kimball for birdie at the par 4 17th.
This his best finish this year came in Monroe, where he tied for 2nd.
Misses that one a little bit to the right side of the hole.
Out of VCU, so he's played a lot of golf in the eastern North Carolina area, he told me.
Up next is Bob Heinz for birdie, 4 under today, a win in Decatur, and 8 top 10 finishes.
I'll tell you something about Bob Heinz. He's never going to forget that finish at Decatur when he made a 60-foot birdie putt at the first playoff hole to shock Scott Medlin and those in attendance. But that biggest purse of the year, the $35,000, and Bob Heinz is just having a really super year.
He settles for his par here. Now Jim Johnson for birdie. This would get him even on his round today.
Like Bob Heinz and a few of the others, he has his family with him this week at Myrtle Beach. The last 3 holes at Woodstock, very, very tough. Yet, birdies are a possibility. Tim Tillman's the head professional here at Wild Wing. He takes us out to look at 16, 17, and 18, our coverage holes in the event this week.
16 is a par 4. It'll play about 380 yards today from the back tees from the golf professionals. It's carved out of the forest and a real sharp dogleg to the right. There's a large bunker on the right-hand side and a woods to the right, so they can't cut it off too much. They'll be playing either a driver or a 3-wood, about 250, 260 yards to the neck, and then have about 130, 140 yards in to a green that will really accept shots. It's sloped from the front to the back. A lot of opportunities there if they put their driver in play. Moving on to 17, it's a real long par 4. They've got the tees on the other side of the pond. Our members and guests never use that. It's 440 yards from back there. So that'll require a long, straight tee shot. Some flat bunkers, fairway bunkers out there in their landing area, but the players have plenty of room to the right. Again, a flat green. All the Woodstock greens are fairly flat. It'll accept a shot, but it'll be a long shot. A 270-yard drive. They'll have 160, 170 yards in, probably a 6 or 7 iron. And then our home hole, number 18, is really a gem. It comes straight at the clubhouse, very long. It'll play 540 yards. And you got to remember, with the rain we've had, it's playing very long. They're getting very little roll. So I don't think anyone's gone in two. It's a 3-shot hole, a drive, and then maybe a 5-iron layup to the 100-yard marker. And then the green it's very wide but very narrow. So they'll be playing to a tight pin placement, but I expect birdie on 18.
Hi, this is Amber from Hooters Myrtle Beach. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
TJ and I were just walking through the park, and out of nowhere, a little boy comes up to me and says, "Can I have your autograph?" I looked around and I said, "Me? Why me?" He says, "Well, my dad and I were in the restaurant the other day, and you're our Hooters girl." I love my job. You know, Hooters has provided me the opportunity to pursue my education in broadcast journalism. One day, Tom Brokaw, I'm gonna have your job. And TJ, he never has to worry about where his next bone's coming from. Come see me at Hooters.
Do you want to cut fat without losing flavor? Are you looking for a product that's all natural and preservative-free? Then get out of the aisle and get over to the fresh produce department, where all the fresh fruits and vegetables are. Introducing Naturally Fresh Fat-Free Dressings. Naturally Fresh dressings are 100% natural. We cut the fat, but left all the flavor. Naturally Fresh Fat-Free Dressings. The name is our promise.
Back to 16, the man that finished second in St. Louis this year, Dean Larson, his second shot.
He also tied for 5th at Greenville, Alabama, tied for 6th at Dallas, and he's 18th on the list, and he's not going to care much for that approach.
Just missed the green. Now Kamen, his approach.
This kid was born to play golf. Played in his first Hooters Tour event when he was 18. Played at the Bainbury Golf Resort that his dad and uncles own. So that was his first appearance ever, but that was a few years ago and after, or actually before he went to the University of Tennessee to play golf in the college ranks.
He's got to love that one. Beautiful shot. Now Peter Dyson, his second shot into 16.
I like everything about this package here. The maturity, the ability to think his way around a golf course. Fine player.
To the par 4 17th. Par 4s, by the way, averaging over 400 yards on this Wild Wing Woodstock course. That, of course, Weingartner, his second shot. Now Steve Pope, a 32 on the front, 5 under on the day, currently in 3rd place.
He won earlier this year at St. Louis, and always fond of saying about Steve, out of Clinton, Mississippi, and went to school at Mississippi State, that very, very hard worker.
Now Chad Wellhausen, he also fired a 32 on the front, even on the back. He's 11 under for the event.
Some really good scoring out here, and of course the soft greens make it easy for the players to go after the flagstick. I want to compliment the people that run the golf course at Woodstock. They did a tremendous job.
Jim Johnson at the home hole, coming off a birdie at 17.
Bob Heinz told me earlier this week about the parallels between sports like basketball and golf.
I think the team sports and what I would call more athletic sports really help. I was a good free throw shooter, and I think free throw shooting is a direct parallel to putting. So I took a lot from those other sports that another kid might not have gotten from just playing golf all the way growing up.
John Kimball on the tee at 18.
This guy is truly one of the big hitters, Gary, on the tour, and some of the long driving competitions he's done well earlier this year.
Back to 16 with Dean Larson, his third shot, 1 under today, 11 under for the event.
He'll finish up here now.
Nice par save there from Dean Larson. Winston now at 17, 2 under for the day.
He's had 3 top 10 finishes, tied for second in Greenville, Alabama. He also tied for second at the Ravenel Country Club in Houston just a few weeks ago.
That one's nicely in the middle of the fairway. Back to 16, Cayman for birdie, and to go to minus 13.
He was a winner last year on the tour, and he's always, at least several times this year, been a threat to win again. So far, he hasn't.
Here's Kyle Owen on the tee at 17. His best finish this year came at Wilmington, where he finished tied for second.
Well, Kyle has been working so hard on his game, just trying to get everything right, and he told me Myrtle Beach, everything was starting to really come together. Speaking of coming together, here's what our group of leaders looks like right now. Through 13 holes, Campbell and Stiles have completed the 13th. They're at 17 and 15 respectively. And then you got Pope and Heinz at 13 and minus 11, Wellhausen and Steve Ford.
To the 18th green, David Plum for a birdie and a round of 69.
Well, David's been having himself again. We've commented so much, and I'm so happy for him. In 1991, he won on what was then the old United States Golf Tour, the forerunner of the Hooters Tour. He'll tap this in for his par, and again, we salute David for an outstanding tournament, 9 under par for the 72 holes.
And a round of 70 today. Back to 17, Weingartner for birdie.
Well, it's not necessarily a good round for him today, but definitely he's enjoying his best finish of the year. He's made 2 cuts in 10 starts, so it has to be a good week.
He's left him a little work to do here. This putt for par.
Again, I compliment the people at the golf course for keeping it in such great playing shape based on some of the weather they had to deal with.
Now Jason Larson finishing up at 18, this for birdie.
He's got a downhill putt, and they've been having trouble judging the speed of this thing, and well, there's a good example of not quite getting it to the hole.
That's a par and 6 under for the event for Jason Larson.
And a 73 today.
Over to 16, Steve Ford coming off a birdie at 15. And that'll put him in the race for 3rd place, Lee.
As we watch the drive of Steve Ford search for the fairway, it splits it. We'll head back to the tee, and you're looking at your leader at the 16th, Chad Campbell, at 17 under par. Heroes, that's something important to golfers like all athletes. I asked Darren Stiles who his hero is.
The greatest influence on my game would definitely be my father. He's the only one I've really had as a teacher up until this year, and I've seen Phil Ritson a few times this year. But other than that, he's basically been the whole ball of wax for me.
Now John Kimball's 3rd shot into the par 5 18th.
Whoa, he'll like that. He's got about a 12, 14 footer, but it's uphill.
Next up is Bob Heinz. A birdie here could increase his paycheck by a couple of grand.
Really like the move that Bob Hines puts on the golf ball, and again, we talk about consistency. He'll like that.
Jim Johnson looking for back-to-back birdies is next.
Didn't appear to get all that one right there. I don't know. He just sort of, he didn't. Left a little shorter than he would like.
Now Adam Thomas recovering from a 7 over 43 on the front. He's 1 under on the back. Here's a shot into 17.
Well, he didn't make a real good move at this. He's not going to like that. He left it way too short.
Kyle Owen next to play at 17.
Kyle's 1 over today, and he's 8 under for the tournament. Just off the backside.
Next to play, Brent Winston, 2 under today, 11 under for the event.
Remember all these names, I think, because when you pick up the newspapers, not only this year, but in the years to come, this tour has turned out so many great young players, a lot of talent.
At the 18th tee, Chad Wellhausen.
That's very playable.
Tom Weingartner next to tee at 18.
Again, you are watching the action of the NGA Hooters Tour. We're at Wild Wing Plantation, 72 holes of wonderful golf on the NGA Hooters Tour. It's a Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic.
And you're looking at Steve Pope, tough break at 17. That triple bogey cost him a lot of money.
Well, he's in the fairway there, and he can play that.
Steve Ford's second shot into 16.
He's on the short grass.
Hi, this is Kim from South Myrtle Beach Hooters. There's more golf action coming your way next.
What the?
Get him out of here. Bust it up, boys. Let's go.
There's ordinary beer. And then there's Michelob. Beer or Michelob?
Finding the best bottled water can be very confusing. At first glance, all water looks the same. But if you scientifically precipitate out the solids, you discover all water is not equal. Introducing naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water, refreshingly pure. This naturally fresh spring water adds extra quality to the all-natural goodness of every naturally fresh product. Make the clear choice. Naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water.
Race fans, the thunder of USAR Hooters Pro Cup racing roars into a track near you. So beware. USA International Speedway, Langley, Peach State, Tri-County, Concord, and more. Hooters Pro Cup has 250 laps of kicking the asphalt. In your face. No holds barred. Short track racing. Jay Fogelman, the coach Jerry Glanville, Justin Labonte, Mario Gosselin, and more lead the field in the chase for more than $2 million. For ticket information, call 800-852-7223. Don't miss the excitement of USAR Hooters Pro Cup racing.
And over in the bunker, we see Darren Stiles.
Kid's got all the shots. Speaking of all the shots, Chad Campbell, we talked to him earlier this week also as you watched the flight of Darren Stiles' ball just short of the green. You seem to be the strong, silent kind, like you don't know what's going on around you, you're just focused. Is that your game?
You mean you can't be worrying about what's going on around you, because I mean if you do that, you get caught up in everything but what you're doing. So you got to stay focused on what you're doing.
Campbell's third shot into 16, and Lee, what a year he's had.
Really has. Again, he's just about done it all, and He's got the remainder of this and 3 tournaments to go to see where his name's going into the record books.
Jim Johnson to putt on 18, this for birdie.
Well, if he can get this in, he would get to -8 and a round of 71. From Boone, North Carolina. Whoa. So he's going to finish at even par and 7 under for the tournament. Bob Heinz is doing a little gardening there, and so he will be stepping out of the way now.
Now John Kimball, 1 under today.
Well, let's see what he can do about that, and not quite enough. He will remain just that way.
He cleans that up for his par.
The last man to work at this green, again, will be Bob Heinz, being very, very deliberate, while John Kimball and Jim Johnson, I'm sure, discussed their respective rounds today and this great facility that they have played.
Lee, I'm not used to seeing Heinz without that familiar striped shirt that he usually wears.
Maybe that one was in the washer today. Boy, I've seen this guy so many times this year. Sykeston, Missouri, obviously at Decatur, Alabama. So many places were coming right down to the end. He was right there, so he's, I'm sure, happy with everything that's accomplished so far by himself.
That'll give him a round of 67, 5 under today, 13 under for the tournament. Now to 17, Kyle Owens' attempt at birdie.
From just off the green and leaves it just a bit short. Let's check out our leaderboard now through 15 holes. Here's what it looks like for the 2 top guys, Chad Campbell and Darren Stiles. And we just saw Heinz finish at 13 under. Steve Ford's at 12. Wellhausen and Winston there at 11 through 17 holes.
Now here is Steve Ford at 16 for birdie and to get to 13 under par. Oh, no. Those hurt, Lee.
They sure do. Steve just reaches over and rakes that in. He told me earlier this week, he said, really, I don't have a lot of complaints about my game so far this week. I'm playing pretty well.
Now Darren Stiles to save his par.
He needs this. And, I've talked to his dad a number of times, and his dad's just a fine fellow, gets out there and works so hard and carrying that bag, and Darren's hero, and he said he's got to get that ball into that hole. He's just been having some problems today. He told me this like at the 10th or 11th hole.
That drops him 3 strokes off the lead to 14 under par. Now our leader to save his par.
Well, he could put some distance now. And he does not. And like Stiles, Campbell will bogey.
A lot of lip outs. We move up to 18, the 3rd shot of Steve Pope.
He's at 10 under par, and again, having a good, consistent week. He misses the green there to his left.
Out in the fairway, Chad Wellhausen.
Again, this is sort of a name that's unfamiliar with our leaderboard in recent weeks.
Now Dean Larson on the tee at 17.
And while we watched the flight of this ball, we talked to Peter Dyson about when he knew he probably could compete at the professional level. He was a great amateur.
Well, as you know, my vacations every year were going to amateur tournaments, and I was doing pretty well in those tournaments. I finished top 10 in the Southern Amateur a couple times in the early 90s. Mid-80s and the same in the Southern and the Western. I made it to match play, and I knew I could compete with these guys if I put my mind and my time to it, and it's worked out so far.
Following the event in Wilmington, we had a change in the leadership of our $500,000 Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship. Chad Campbell has gone to the top with just over 2,200 points. Then it's Zoran Zorkic, Mike Schwartz, Scott Medlin, Peter Dyson, and Bob Heinz. Those are the top ones, followed by Brian Slevin, Jason Caron, Steve Ford, Larson, Sterling, and Pope. But really, the race is amongst the top 5, Gary, for that $200,000 payout of the $500,000 bonus.
Over to 17, Scott Kamen coming off a birdie at 16.
Well, he'd like nothing better than just a little bit of a 3-hole run here that could land him in second place. But that landed in the wrong place.
Peter Dyson next, 1 over today, 9 under for the tournament.
Just smooth, threw the ball, been a pro a year and a half, and what he has accomplished as a professional, truly impressive.
Next at 17, Dean Larson.
It's a good shot of Dean right there as he surveys where that little white ball's headed. Okay, not bad from there.
To 18, Chad Wellhausen chipping his 4th shot.
There's a touch of class. Now that's work well done, and that's what you see the guys practicing so much on. There's 3 things in golf you practice, the pros say: your short game, your short game, and your short game.
11 under for the tournament.
A round of 69.
Back on the tee at the par 4 17th, Steve Ford.
Oh, Steve's running out of holes, and again, another good tournament, but he would say to me, there's only one place to be, and that's the top spot.
Steve Pope's ready now at 18, and that's going to be just a little right.
Yeah, not for him. His performance has come up short in this event.
You know, the triple bogey at 17 really hurt him. Dropped him to 10 under par for the tournament.
And for today, a 70. Weingartner is going to be closing out for this group. Just to save his par. If he does, he'll finish with a round of 78. Oh, all around good putt.
If you're going to use some of it, use the whole hole.
That's right.
This is Bambi from Hooters of Myrtle Beach. There's more NGA golf action coming up next.
You know what they say. Sauce sells.
Naming our salad dressing Naturally Fresh gives us a lot to live up to. So we use only the freshest vegetables and spices. And because we add no preservatives, you won't find Naturally Fresh on the salad dressing aisle. You'll only find it in the refrigerated produce section. Naturally Fresh gives you premium quality without the premium price. We're located with the rest of the fresh produce. So try us next time you shop for fresh fruits and vegetables. The Naturally Fresh name is our promise.
My barbecue sauce has the big, bold taste that really makes barbecue taste great. Barbecue sauce.
That's not barbecue sauce. This is barbecue sauce.
Jackaroo barbecue sauce. Big taste from a big place.
Chad Campbell, there to tee, our leader. He's 2 up with 2 play, so he is 2 strokes on top. But a lot of golf in front of him yet. Good placement there in the fairway.
Ahead at the green, Scott Kamen's third shot.
This is a good effort.
Now Darren Stiles, last to hit on 17.
He got every bit of this. Talking about quiet, strong types, that's Darren Stiles. Doesn't have a lot to say, but his clubs do the talking.
Dean Larson for birdie at 17. Not quite. He'll tap this one in to remain at 11 under par. Not a bad tournament, though, Lee.
No, not really. Again, top 10 finishes are important. That points race, adding to your total there for all these players is important.
That's Owen in the 18th fairway, his third shot.
Now that ball just really backed up just a little bit too much.
And this guy's trying to move ahead of the 11 under bunch, Winston at 18.
Fine shot. Good effort right there.
This man has played the back nine without a bogey, Adam Thomas.
Well, he planted all those on the front side when he had that 43. And that's quite a birdie opportunity he's going to have there.
Stiles in the fairway at 17 had his only bogey of the day at 16.
Yeah, but again, he needed to find and still needs to find some birdies there with a couple of shots back.
That one off the back of the green. Now your leader, Campbell, in the fairway at 17.
It's nice and smooth, and you mentioned that magical word, leader, and let's look at the leader board as you check out Chad's shot there. And again, Campbell, through 16 holes, has that 2-stroke advantage over Darren Stiles. And then Bob Heinz has finished at 13. Steve Ford with an opportunity yet to earn some more money if he can get up there to 13. And then it's Wellhausen and Winston.
There's Adam Thomas closing out his round, this for birdie.
They have just a bit of work to do there. Doesn't want to be in anyone's way, but they say, take your time, and Adam's finished.
Back to the tee at 18, Peter Dyson.
Well, they've come over there just after a brief. You see those clouds in the sky. There's some little problems back there with some lightning and so forth. So after a brief delay, but he's okay.
On the 18th green, Owen for birdie.
He's straight uphill.
He's going to finish with a 1 over par 73, -8 for the tournament. And a ball into the water. Our leader at 17 for birdie, and this to get back to 17 under par. You can't miss it by less than that.
Nope.
Nice effort. Next up, Darren Stiles to save his par.
We got great media coverage down at Myrtle Beach, Channel 15, and the Sun News, the newspaper down there. Always appreciative of the media's attention. This is big. This is for par. That back-to-back bogeys really has hurt Darren's chances.
He's 3 back of Campbell now. Steve Ford seeing opportunity. This birdie will move him into a 3-way tie for second.
He just lost that right off the putter. When they make that kind of move, they have no chance to get it in the hole.
The third shot of Scott Kamen into 18.
Nice effort. He can probably putt that if he wants to.
Next is Dean Larson.
18, again, we mentioned, is a 3-shot hole, and no one was going for this in 2. That just never allowed the opportunity for the player to get it far enough down the fairway.
Peter Dyson's approach to the par 5 18.
I mentioned that all day long, the par 5 has been a 3-shot hole.
Back at the 18th tee, the tee shot of Steve Ford.
looks to be in pretty good shape.
Now the man with the sweet swing, Chad Campbell, our leader.
Yeah, he's just wants to find the fairway with this ball now with the 2-shot lead. And that'll work.
And finally, Darren Stiles, tee shot at 18.
He went after that one. He had that titanium working that time. So he's way out in front.
We're up on the green now. Dyson for his birdie.
Not quite. So he's going to finish with a 2 over 74, and I promise you he is not happy about that. 8 under for the tournament. And anytime he gets beyond par, he is not a happy camper, guaranteed. He's disappointed in his performance, but he's a gentleman.
Currently in a 3-way tie for second at -13, Cayman for birdie. That could have put him in second by himself. Steve Ford, first to play in the fairway at 18.
He did not like that. He has hit it someplace he doesn't want to be. Well, he is absolutely not wanting to be there. He's in the trap on a layup shot. I promise you, Steve Ford is unhappy with that.
Darren Stiles next to play.
That's just a position shot there. All they're trying to do is get it in there where they got a full club into that green.
And now your leader, Chad Campbell.
Right now he's in real good position with a 3-shot cushion coming into the final hole. But he's got to be happy with his play. Hard to focus today. The weather, any part of a problem that interrupted your thinking process? You were stopped back there at 18 just for a moment.
Oh, not really. I mean, it might have been a little bit different if I only had a 1-shot lead or tied for the lead, since it was nice having a 3-shot lead, having to wait a little while before I hit that 18th tee shot.
Back at 18, Steve Ford's third shot out of the bunker.
Boy, he just wants to be someplace close to the green. Wow, that's tremendous in that position.
Now Chad Campbell.
He just wants it on the smooth putting surface, and he's left himself in great shape with that lead of his.
Now the third shot of Darren Stiles.
Again, a birdie would be great for him, a great way to finish. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Amber from Hooters Myrtle Beach. Don't go away. We'll be crowning our champion next.
TJ and I were just walking through the park, and out of nowhere, a little boy up to me and says, "Can I have your autograph?" I looked around and I said, "Me? Why me?" He says, "Well, my dad and I were in the restaurant the other day, and you're our Hooters girl." I love my job. You know, Hooters has provided me the opportunity to pursue my education in broadcast journalism. One day, Tom Brokaw, I'm gonna have your job. And TJ, he never has to worry about where his next bone's coming from. Come see me at Hooters.
Back at the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic, where at 18, Campbell has a 3-stroke lead over this guy, Darren Stiles, at 13 under, this for birdie.
Well, he's coming off of a couple straight bogeys. Birdie would be big, and he does get it in the hole. There's some real relief on his part, and a good round of applause there. Steve Ford, remember, out of the trap, out of that fairway trap, and to get this ball on the green in 3, so this would be a tremendous birdie here after a near disaster. Oh, yes. Got to be happy there. That's going to be worth some money as he gets to 13 under, so that's going to be worth somewhere in the vicinity of a couple of $1,000.
Chad Campbell now. This will be his 3rd win on the tour this year.
Oh, great birdie. What a way to finish. All 3 with birdies at the 18th.
A round of 68 for Chad Campbell, your champion. And now let's take a look at the official earnings through Myrtle Beach for the NGA Hooters Tour. Chad Campbell on top, almost $80,000. Bob Heitz, the familiar name, in second, $71,250, followed by Zorkic, Dyson, Ford, and Medlin. On the second page, Swartz there at $36,900. Derek Brinker, pretty good year this year at $36,212. Pope follows, and there you see your other leaders in the money through Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now your Naturally Fresh Points Championship, Chad Campbell sitting on top, $24,15. Double Z in second place, $21.95. Dyson, Medlin, Bob Heitz, and Mike Swartz follow. And on your second page, Slevin at almost 2,000 points, followed by Ford, Larson, Pope, Sterling, and Kimball. Now let's go down to Lee on the golf course at the closing ceremonies.
Well, another great tournament on the NGA Hooters Tour. We're at the Jackaroo Steakhouse and Sauce Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Second time at this great 72-hole facility known again as Wild Wing. And I know that John Rhodes, who's president of the Jackaroo Steakhouses, I know you're proud to give away $25,000 to an outstanding young player at 17 under par. He did what he had to do to go out there and win and take command of a tournament here that's played over a great golf course at Wild Wing, John.
Well, it was a great tournament. You know, it was pretty close going into today's round, and the best excel. So Chad, you know, gripped it down and made a great birdie putt on 18, which was a nice finishing touch. The thing is that here at Wild Wing, we've been fortunate to have it for 2 years in a row now, and hopefully be back here. The tournament has been good for the area. It's good for Jackaroo Steakhouse, the Jackaroo Sauces, and it's also great for the Hooters Tour. The people here do an outstanding job, and this week the weather's really hasn't been cooperative, I guess you'd say. We've had rain and delays and rain and more rain, and they've had to pump out the sand traps, and the green superintendents have done a great job. And today the course is really in almost perfect condition considering all the weather we've had. Chad played well, great winner, great to have it.
Hey, Chad, $25,000 John's got for you here, and you're no stranger to the winner's circle here on the NGA Hooters Tour, and I know that when you think about it, the first place money's great, but isn't winning super?
Yeah, winning's always good. I mean, money is kind of comes second. It just feels great to win, and you know, just to play on such a good course and to win on a great course really means something.
Just final round, any key point there, any hole that sort of turned it around for you?
Oh, not really. I felt like I played pretty solid all day. I started out with a bogey on 1, but came back with a birdie on 2, and then kind of kept hitting it pretty close and started making some putts.
Chad Campbell is your winner. Again, we're at Wild Wing in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We've certainly enjoyed being here. Don't forget, the next time we're going to be coming to you from Miami, Florida. This is Lee Moore for the NGA Hooters Tour saying so long, everybody.
This broadcast is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants, home of world-famous chicken wings, and the nearly world-famous Hooters Girls. And by Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Mountain Water. All water is not pure. Taste the quality of Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Water. By Jackaroo Sauce. If you just got sauce, you ain't got Jack. And by Smooth, Rich-Tasting Michelob. Beer or Michelob.